Promise them whatever money you must. Tell them I want them to lock up Captain Speedy in his cabin and then to help me sail this ship to Liverpool.
Why, Monsieur Fogg, I did not think you had it in you. Who is going to captain the ship?
I am.
You are a pirate, monsieur. An out-and-out pirate.
I am simply what the hour demands of me, Passepartout. We carried it out according to plan. When the ship was 11 hours and 15 minutes out, the crew mutinied, locked Captain Speedy in his cabin, and I was in command. We set out immediately for Liverpool. I ordered the engineer not to let the fires go down and to keep the valves filled. We were 770 miles from Liverpool when I was obliged to send for Captain Speedy.
How dare you take over my ship, you privateer, you thief, you... Where are we?
770 miles from Liverpool.
I'll have you before the authorities for this, you...
I have sent for you, sir.
You picaroon!
To ask you to sell me your vessel.
No. By all that's holy, no.
Then I shall be obliged to burn her.
Burn the Henrietta?
Yes. At least the upper part of her. The coal has given out.
Burn my ship, a ship worth $50,000?
Here are $60,000.
Well, now that puts a slightly different face on the matter. I'll still own the iron hull.
The iron hull, yes, and the engine. Is it agreed?
Agreed.
The ship now belongs to me?
It does.
Very well. Then have the interior seats, bunks, and frames pulled down and burn them. I must be in London by December the 21st. I landed on the Liverpool quay at 20 minutes to 12, December the 21st. I was then 6 hours distant from London. However, as I set foot upon the wharf, Mr. Fix, who had gotten off the ship just ahead of me, turned and said,
"Are you really Phileas Fogg?"
"I am."
"I have a warrant for your arrest, Mr. Fogg. It was waiting for me in New York. I arrest you in the Queen's name."
I sat in prison for the rest of that night. I had lost my wager. I was soon to lose my temper, however, for in the morning Mr. Fix came in.
"Mr. Fogg, I owe you an apology. It's been a most unfortunate error, but it was because of the resemblance that I thought... Well, the robber was arrested 3 days ago. You are free."
"Oh, I'm free, am I?"
Monsieur Fogg, he's out cold. You've knocked him unconscious. Parbleu, what a blow!
Passepartout, go to the hotel and get Aouda. And meet me at the railroad station. I'll see about our tickets at once. Aouda, I hope you'll forgive me for bringing you to England.
Forgive you?
I thought when I brought you here that I would be able to place my fortune at your disposal. Now I am ruined.
Mr. Fogg, what will become of you? Surely you will not be in want. Your relatives?
Oh, I have no relatives.
Oh. Mr. Fogg, no man can live happily without someone to comfort him.
So I have read Aouda. And when I read it, I doubted it, but it's true. Since knowing you, I have come to realize that.
Mr. Fogg.
And since knowing you, I have come to realize something else. The man who lives and moves according to schedule isn't as wise as he thinks he is, if he arrives each place on time, but misses something lovely on the way. I wanted to tell you this, since in a few hours we'll be saying goodbye.
Mr. Fogg, do you wish at once a kinswoman and a friend? Will you have me for your wife?
Will I have you? Miss Aouda, this moves me deeply. From the moment I first saw you, I knew you were as good and noble as you are beautiful. And though I appear to have a heart shaped like a clock, it ticks only for you.
Gentlemen, in 5 minutes, the time agreed between Mr. Fogg and ourselves will have expired, and he will have lost his wager.
At what time did the last train arrive from Liverpool?
At 23 minutes past 7, and the next does not arrive until after 12.
4 minutes to 9.
3 minutes to 9.
2 minutes to 9.
1 minute to 9.
Here I am, gentlemen.
On my soul.
I have completed my trip around the world in exactly 80 days. Gentlemen, I must confess to you that I thought I had lost the wager myself. I thought I was a day late, but I failed to take into account the fact that I had traveled constantly eastward and that I was ahead one day. Gentlemen, I shall gain nothing from the money I have won except the expenses of the journey. But I have brought back from this long and weary trip what was never mine before. Peace of mind, joy of heart, and a charming woman. In short, gentlemen, happiness. The happiness of every man that at last finds what all men seek. Gentlemen, for that happiness, would you not make a trip around the world?
Ronald Colman and James Hilton will return in a moment. Here again is James Hilton.
Ronald Colman, it's been a great pleasure to have you back with us again in the Hallmark Playhouse. And thanks for taking us along on Jules Verne's memorable world tour.
I enjoy being here, Jimmy. Your Hallmark Playhouse has set such high standards that coming over to visit you is always a very happy experience. You present each week the best stories and the best characters in literature. And all of you at Hallmark are bringing great pleasure to many listeners at home.
Well, Ronnie, it's gratifying to know when we succeed in upholding a tradition. And like our Hallmark friends, we hope our program contributes to the happiness of many.
And what story have you selected for next week, Jimmy?
Next week, we are bringing to the Hallmark Playhouse another of the ever-popular Mary O'Hara novels, Green Grass of Wyoming. This is a story of men and horses in the ranch country, a story as invigorating and spirited as the great state of Wyoming itself. Lon McAllister will take the leading role, and I hope you'll be one of our listeners at that time, Ronnie. Until next Thursday, then, this is James Hilton saying good night.